What up, guys? You know who it is. It's your boy, John Mike. I'm back again. I got my guy from across the sky, De La Vanta from Atlanta. I like to say it like that. Hope you're doing well, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. You know, we missed last week because both of us had some stuff going on last week.
Yeah, it was my anniversary last week, man.
Yeah, your anniversary. We had to get a new heat pump installed because we tried to turn the heat on. It was 40 degrees, and that thing said, "Nah, we done." And it was an 18-year-old unit though, so you know.
Jeez,
it was time.
That's crazy. That's crazy, but look, you got it done either way, and we got the anniversary shenanigans out of the way. 17 years of marriage, 20 years of relationship, 6 children, and all of the like. Man, it's been a journey. We were happy to be celebrating that, man. But you know what I'm saying? We're here, man. We out here, man. So weekend was good for you and everything.
Yeah, man. Weekend was good. Got to chill. Had to step in and do a little bit of work on a project I'm on, but you know, everything was chill.
Yeah, man. That's what it's about. Man. But check it out, yo. So on the docket today, we got something interesting. I think Pro Tools, they dropped a new interface on us, man. The looks like the
M-Box Studio.
M-Box Studio here is what we got going on. So I think it's interesting. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This thing is huge. I'm looking at it here on this picture, and this thing is a chunky boy, man. Like it's
and quite ugly. Like,
yeah,
just being honest.
I wasn't gonna say it. You said
not,
it, so
it is not pretty.
You said it. I didn't say it. But I'm gonna let it go on record that you said it was ugly. I just said it was big.
I definitely said it, and I'm an Apple fanboy. I'm an ACA member, so yeah, hey, I can say it.
Hey, look, that's what it goes, man. That's how it goes. But no, it's definitely like a chunky monkey, you know, so to speak, man. It's like crazy looking at it. But it's been a minute.
It's got a lot in it though. It's chunky, but it's got quite a bit of stuff in it.
Yeah.
So its size fits its feature set for sure.
I definitely agree with that, man. Like I'm looking at it here. What's crazy about it, like, see, I came in the M-Box family. I don't know when you came in. I came in the M-Box family. I think it was Gen 3. When I came into the M-Box
black
family.
one, the like the matte gray black kind of joint, black and purple joint. So you was in the app. So when Avid actually bought DigiDesign, so I came in on DigiDesign side with M-Box 2, the blue one, the blue and gray.
You came in with this one. I got it up on the screen here.
Yep,
so you
came
in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the one I came in on, man.
I came
Pro
in on
Tools
3.
7 was brand new when I bought mine. Like it was a whole thing.
So you've been in the Pro Tools game for a minute.
Yeah. I'm version 7. It was 2005, 2006 for me. Like, yeah, I've been Pro Tools. And the thing about it, you know, everybody know I'm the Pro Tools guy. Like, literally, I'm the Pro Tools guy. I don't use anything else. I don't touch anything else. I don't own anything else. Like, Pro Tools. That's it.
That's it. For what, 15 years?
Yeah, roughly. That's about 15 years, yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah, no, I've been all over the place. I'm like a DAW mutt, you know what I mean? Like I'm Studio One, Logic, Pro Tools if I need it, dabble in Ableton. I've done Reason a little bit. I hadn't messed with Reason in a minute since like version 10.
I use Reason as a sound module.
Yeah.
Back when I was producing, and back in the Rewire days when you can link it to Pro Tools. So yeah, I've used it as a module.
Yeah.
I did one session of Reason. So it was this one session where I forgot my iLock, and I had to record some vocals. So only thing I had authorized at the time was Reason. So I did do some vocal tracking in Reason before.
Jeez. Nah, like I never even messed with Reason as recording. It was more so, like you said, a live sound module type vibe. I was using it at church to like play keys and stuff from, because I like that little rack look. I haven't messed with Luna either, but that's next on my agenda to kind of get in and play around with that. But anyway.
Oh, so you coming over to UAD land? You coming over?
Just maybe. I'm thinking about it, man. Like I'm exploring my options. But the main attraction for me for UAD is not the plugins, which I know the plugins are great. The main attraction for me is Luna. Like that's the only reason I'm thinking about jumping over to UAD land is because I want to check out Luna. And I know all of the Luna fans and all the UAD heads in the comments and on the stream probably like, nah, man, you know, but I don't know. Luna is the attraction. I was in a session with a guitarist in Nashville, and he used Luna. That was what he used, and you know, we were going through the motions and recording, and he pulled up this record he was working on, and I was like, bro, that sounds like it's ready to go on the radio right now. He was like, he did the Cobby Lame on. He's like, you know, he's like Luna, bruh. Like, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. So it's been on my radar, but to kind of get in and see. But man, your initial thoughts on the M-Box Studio.
You know, being a M-Box, you know, that's how I got introduced to Pro Tools, you know, so it definitely was a revolutionary interface. So, you know, I seen comments out there like, why in the world did they do this? I'm like, yeah, because M-Box was a big era for DigiDesign and Avid, and a lot of people get in with that package. But I think it's great, man, because you got here, this is huge, because when I got the M-Box, it was only 2 in, maybe 4, because I think it had SPDIF. But yeah, so this one is 21 by 22. Now that's a little bit of marketing language in there.
Marketing magic.
So it's not completely 21, but I mean that's a lot of ins and outs on this one device, man. It's USB. You know, it's got monitor control built into it. It's got a guitar tuner built into it, so that's cool for, you know, guitar players, bass players. They can tune up right from the unit. I want to say it had talkback on it. Did I see? Yeah, integrated talkback mic. So yeah, it had an integrated talkback mic. So I mean, that's a lot, man. In this little unit, man. Even the Apollos, the Twin doesn't have a built-in talkback mic. I mean, so
that's true.
That's definitely a dope feature. And they finally added some well, not finally, because they had it on one of their interfaces before, but the DSP. You know, it's not HDX or anything like that, but it is more close to like RME, Metric Halo, to where you have some tracking effects that you can use, you know, some basic EQ, and some reverb delays that you can use while you're tracking, and it's gonna be no latency going to your headphones. So that's a nice touch, you know. I wish they would have kind of done the UAD thing to where you could make the decision if you wanted to track that in or not, but they didn't. So, you know,
that's what I was thinking. When I heard DSP, I thought immediately, oh, this is going to be dope. Maybe they would give you some sort of digital front end where, you know, you could pull up a Waves or you could pull up or whatever and just drop it in, you know, on there and be able to, you know, have the unit handle the DSP for you, which, I mean, in this day and time, the DSP CPU argument is kind of, you know, a mute point, because these, you know, M1s and these super powered PCs that cats are running now, like, you know, like we really ain't starving for CPU power to where we just really need DSP to like handle it for it. But I look at it.
It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to always say it depends on what you're doing, because when I'm tracking a full band on an HDX system, a computer's not handling that. And unless you're going straight raw with nothing, you're not using no effects or anything, then it because the last tracking session I did, it was a 5-piece band, all with their own individual cue mixes, all being ran off of HDX. And I haven't seen a computer be able to do that without a fuss.
Without a fuss, without it being a little upset.
Because I mean, you constantly playing that back and forth. Hardware buffer size and all this kind of stuff. Like, I never touch my hardware buffer. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, no, that makes sense. But you're thinking everyday tracking. Most of us weren't running around here with an HDX system. You know what I mean?
Like, right, of course, You know, but Cat's got UAD though. You know,
we ain't doing that. We ain't doing all of that. But you know, it's kind of cool. It's cool to have. I look at it more so from the benefit of just basically having a digital front end, like being able to do away with having an actual 1176 or do away with having a 2A or whatever the case may be. You can literally
a lot of mic pre's, all that kind of stuff.
Recording and committing to the processing on the front end and recording with the end in mind is always my desire. But I don't know, you know, it's cool. It's like I said, it's Chunky Boy. It's got the DSP. I mean, it's got the talk back. So I'm guessing Avid is trying to appeal to the all-in-one guys that just want a standalone unit that's got the talk back, monitor control, in and out, spit if.
I mean, but you think about it though, most people need those things because you end up buying, you know, a little interface.
True.
And then if you got a booth and you need to talk to people, then you end up trying to, let me rig up a microphone and use one of my inputs for talkback, and you route the talkback to their headphones. So it's like, okay, monitor controller. A lot of people, you know, they end up with, you know, a couple set of monitors that they want to A/B from. So it's like building all of that into one unit makes a lot of sense, you know. So even when you look at the price tag, you know, some people might you know, be taken aback a little bit, but it's like when you look at the price of all the individual pieces that you would need to put together a comparable setup, I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. Because what the little PreSonus monitor station, what's that like?
The monitor. That's the one I got. The monitor controller. The monitor station. That's the one.
Monitor station. The desktop.
I think that's what I paid for.
So okay, so if it's like $329, so you throw in, let's say you just buy like a $500 interface, and then you buy that, you know, for $329, you at $800. I mean,
that's true. That's something to think about. The thing that I'm mad at, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. The thing that turned me off, and I'm going back to the picture, is this thing is huge. I mean, I'm not mad at all of the features. And if there's anything to complain about, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be like, yo, that's not, I mean, it's not. I don't know, man. Looking at that thing, I'm trying to get a good. I was watching the Avid intro.
Wavy Wayne has a video where he has one, so you could get a real good size.
Yeah, I think I watched that. It was like, let me type it in. Let me see here. Let me pop it in.
It's probably, not even looking at the dimensions, it's probably as big almost as one of these S1s. I think width wise, probably.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it here, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's about the size. He's got it in his hand, and it looks like it's about the size of the monitor station. I don't know. It just looks. I'm just wondering how we got from the original, you know, M-Box this size to, you know, now it's this big huge thing that takes over your whole desk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's all the internals, man. You know, you got 4 mic pre's in there, you know, some line ins, the DSP, whatever that's doing in there. So it needs, you know, the heat needs to be able to escape. You know, at a certain point you start making stuff too small, and then you have overheating issues, Apple.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So, you know, I think they had to play a big part into it, like making sure that they didn't make it too small to where the air couldn't flow properly and keep the unit running. Because I mean, I've even heard, you know, of like Apollos and stuff being hot, like, you know, to the touch, after usage. So it's like little things like that. It's like it makes sense that they made a bigger unit, because they're just like, they've seen all the other companies do what they did through the years, and they're like, okay, cool, that wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this. So they made it big. It definitely, you need a roll case to travel with that bad boy. You're not gonna be throwing that in a book bag. Like that's a full Pelican case situation.
Yeah. So they're definitely trying to put it as a studio centerpiece versus like your portable, you know, budgeting, marketing, you know, budgeting interface would say, not necessarily budgeting market, but budgeting.
And I think that's good, man, because I mean, the little portable interface market is oversaturated at this point. I mean, you even have Neve done jumped into the game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
so it's like they made something that, you know, the price point is right, the feature set is right, and it could be your one piece that's like your center, like you said, the centerpiece in your studio, and bam, there you go. Everything's right there. You got 21 in, 22 out. You got Bluetooth is in there.
Yeah.
You know, you got monitor controller, talkback. So everything you need to run a project studio. We're not even gonna say like a little rinky-dink setup. Like, this is like a serious deal, because 21 inputs, man, that you can track a whole band with 21 inputs. So,
but you know, I
like
think you said,
really
that's
made
padded
it that way.
That, you know, that they kind of padded that for the marketing with the 21 inputs, because
they
you got to throw
it's
that
4 mic input, 4 mic pre's, and a couple of those are all, they can be line inputs as well.
Yeah.
Then you have the FX sends. Then you have ADAT optical in. Then you have SPDIF in. So I mean, just input jacks looking at the unit here,
Yeah.
we have 4 and then 8. So that's 12.
Yeah.
14 when you add the SPDIF in there. So the rest of those are coming from
they got some virtual
digital
inputs too. I think I saw that
Exactly.
in the thing. They're doing like 8 virtual inputs, which that's cool. I mean, in this day and time where we're routing audio back and forth in and out of different things like virtually, it's good to have some virtual ends and stuff. But your average Joe Smo is going to be the guy that's probably that those 4 inputs are going to be his main thing, because he's not going to be digging off into the ADAT and digging off into SPDIF and all of those things. They probably don't even know what SPDIF is, or
I mean, they should though, man.
should,
like when you
working
buy
in
it,
audio,
like one
but
of the
I'm
reasons
saying,
you buy an interface like this is the expandability, man. I can tell you when I first started with the M-Box,
Yeah.
that was one of the things I messed up as. Like I was so excited and ready to get into it.
Yeah.
I bought the M-Box and like that was not a wise purchase for me.
Really?
And it was because I'm a drummer
Yeah.
by default.
Yeah.
So what drums you tracking with 2 inputs?
Yeah,
I mean, you can. I mean, there's tons of ways to do it, but for most of the music that I do, you need the drums to be individually mic'd. Like you're not finna be doing 2 overheads or one on the kick and then one overhead. Like no. They want
definitely.
complete isolation of the toms and the snare and everything. So I immediately, I mean, within probably a year, went up to the 002. Because it had more inputs. It had 4 mic pre's built in, and then it had ADAT in there and SPDIF. So matter of fact, if you think about it, this right here is the M-Box, but it's more closer to what the 002, 003
That's true.
IO was.
So I wonder why they just didn't rebrand it as that as opposed to the M-Box, or maybe they just were trying to play off of the M-Box old school thing. I
definitely think that was something
sound
that they did.
But
for
even
sure.
with ADAT though, the thing that I'm thinking about is like, even though you starting out with 4 inputs and you're going to ADAT, that's still more pre's. That's still another set of, you got to be another set of pre's or another interface that has SPDIF or ADAT built in to be able to expand and utilize all of those ins and outs that you're going to get on there. So it's still not completely a contained unit if you're wanting now those 4 inputs, those virtual inputs, the talk back, the multiple monitor controls, the outs, and all of those things like that. Yes, I think it's definitely powerful in that, because like you said, the point you made, which I didn't consider, was that this is like talkback monitor control. If I bought a monitor station and I bought a Personas input, interface, I'm spending about $800-900, like what it costs. So they're cutting in that, but still I'm only getting 4 inputs, hardware inputs on unit inputs to really do something with. And if I want to expand, that's more money I got to spend on more pre's or something that's going to basically make that system more comparable to track what I need to track, which is cool, but it just puts it out. I think they're setting themselves in this weird place that's in between, what you would pay for an Apollo X8, you know what I mean, or that whole situation, and like the budget area, which is those budget interfaces. So they got themselves in like that weird space of like it's prosumer. It's not really like consumer.
Yeah,
level.
this definitely prosumer. I mean,
Yeah.
once you crack, you can start getting inching towards $1,000 for anything.
You in the prosumer market. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. That's why I feel about the Neve. Like, I really didn't understand the Neve. I still don't think that that's a good product. I think they just dropped the ball on that and just said we want to do an interface, and they just dropped it in there and didn't really they just kind of threw caution to the wind with that. I don't know.
Yeah, the market for that is very narrow.
Yeah, because you're talking about, I think
the
the Neve
channel
is like
interface is $12.95.
Yeah, and you get 2 inputs, like for 2 ends. That's all they really got on there. I mean, I think it's got
Now,
the AD.
here's something that I heard somebody say in a video that actually made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
They said they shouldn't have made it a interface.
Yeah.
They should have made it a mic pre.
Yeah.
that had interface capabilities.
I agree with
Because
that.
then marketing wise, the mindset shift of wait a minute, I can get 2 Neve preamps for $12.95.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
with insert points.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Now that's
worth
appealing
it.
to me.
That's a different. Yeah,
I
that's a
can
different
rock
vibe.
with that.
Yeah, that's a different vibe if you're doing it that way versus doing like you said, doing it as an interface.
Yeah, they make
Because
it
like
an
when I see a
interface.
2-channel interface, I'm like, what's? I mean, yeah, it's Neve pre's, but a regular guy, budget level guy, is not tapping into it. So I'd be interested to see who's actually, that's something that actually got them interested, you know what I'm saying, and got them in there to where they, the people who actually decided they wanted to buy that unit versus
Right.
that. Not that's kind of like how I feel about this Pro Tools one. It's like a little, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me. I don't know. I'm trying.
Well, now here's the other thing that this has that we didn't mention. It comes with a studio license, a Pro Tools studio license.
Okay, yeah, for like a year, right?
Right. It's a year Pro Tools studio license. And let me see here if it is a subscription or is it perpetual. Let's see. Pro Tools,
I think it's subscription.
a year subscription to Pro Tools Studio.
Then you gotta start paying after that.
The question would be, when that year ends, do you get to keep it as perpetual like they used to do?
Nah.
Or is it you got to either re-up or you're going to drop down to Pro Tools
free?
Not first, or what is it called?
They got
now?
free now and artists.
It's called Is it called Pro Tools Free?
Well, they got free and then they got artists. Those are the entry level ones. Artist is like $9.99, and then you got studio, and then you got the flex or whichever
Ultimate
it was.
Flex,
I think the new the top tier one. But nah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be like perpetual. It's probably gonna be like you get a year free and then you subscribe after that.
Here, let me look, because I'm actually kind of interested now that we're talking about it. That's interesting now that we're talking about that, because it comes with it, but if you lose it after the year, it's kind of like
yeah.
Because I mean, the Carbon came with a year of flex.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is interesting. Because back when I got Pro Tools, you bought the M-Box and you got Pro Tools. You actually got a Pro Tools license that was yours to keep. As a matter of fact, I still have that. I literally still have
Pro
that
Tools.
license, Pro Tools 7 license or whatever it is.
Yeah, I came in at 9 and I had that, that educational license. When I came in from Full Sail, and that carried me over for several years. And then I think I eventually went to 10, and then after 10, that's when I jumped into the whole subscription thing, because that was years later, because I rocked with 10 for quite a few years as well. But they're getting rid of the whole perpetual thing anyway, and just trying to keep people subscribed.
So it is. Yeah, it does specifically say a 1-year subscription.
Yeah, it's not gonna go.
I guess once that year ends, then you're gonna go down to Pro Tools Intro.
Yeah.
Instead of the studio, unless you want to pay for it. It also comes, I'm seeing here, Sibelius Artist 1-year subscription.
Okay.
So that's kind of dope. The Sibelius, the notation software. So you're getting the artist version of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Where you can, compose for 16 instruments. And that's desktop or mobile. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't know
cool.
that was coming with it.
That's cool. I mean, you're getting the value there because, again, I mean, I guess if you count up the cost of, again, the interface, a 4-channel interface plus a monitor controller, and then you throwing in what you would pay for a DAW anyway, because most of the the big boys are starting, but outside of Logic are all subscription anyway. If I'm going Studio One, I'm still paying $16 a month for that, or if I'm, I think Reason even is gone to subscription now on one of their versions. Ableton is still kind of holding out on that. But if you're using
FL,
if you're using it for what it's probably designed to be used with, which is Pro Tools, if you're a Pro Tools user, then you are saving on that license for a year, which is somewhere around $300 to $400 a year. if you're paying on the monthly schedule. So I guess I could see, the value in which they're giving. I still think it lives in a weird place personally. Like if I'm thinking out loud in my perspective as a consumer, and even as a prosumer, like if I'm starting from scratch, if I'm starting from, square one, building a studio, or if I'm trying to streamline my current studio setup, am I buying this? Am I spending $800 to get this all in one thing that's hopefully going to solve all my problems or solve a handful of problems that's keep me from buying like several pieces of equipment? Am I spending the money on this? And I don't know, personally, it didn't move the needle for me. I mean, it's cool. I think I like the fact that it's compact and it has the talk back built in and all those things like that. The size of it, because I got the Raven desk, I'm already fighting for desk real estate anyway. And most of us are. If you're a producer, you're probably fighting, no matter what desk you got, you're probably fighting for desk real estate because you got MIDI controller, you got a fader controller that you got to throw up there to kind of do some stuff. Now, if they had built faders if this was like a S1,
Well, I mean, you do have 4 programmable buttons on here that can,
they're buttons, but I'm thinking like as a fader, like kind of like a fader port. Like if it was like a Digi 003, let's just say
so 004
or 004 whatever, where they had faders on there, mic pre's built in, talkback mic, and this could literally sit on my desk and cover all of those functions, then yeah, I would definitely throw my monitor controller to my PreSonus monitor controller, my fader port, and I would consider looking into the ADAT and all that stuff like that, so I can expand my IO and get a whole situation where this would literally be the centerpiece of my studio. Like, this is the centerpiece. I got the faders, I got the mic pre's, I got the talkback mic. Everything is here. All I need is this in my computer, and I'm good to go as an engineer or recording and mixing. I'm kind of good to go. I'm covering all the bases. I think if they had done that, even if it was like $14, even if it was like $14.99,
we'll see.
$19.99, I think I'd be interested in it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
They might do
forums,
that.
That's been a conversation for a while. People want that the 002, 003, the console version, to come back. So I definitely think that could be something that they might do in the future to bring that back. But like you said, that's gonna be have a nice little price tag on it. So again, you dipping out of what the average person is going to buy. I mean, me. Mm-hmm. I probably would buy it if it was me,
Really?
just getting started. I probably still would buy it, but that's because for me the Pro Tools name still carries weight. I know people, have different feelings about that, but for me, that Pro Tools brand still carries a lot of weight. And depending on what kind of work you're getting into, that transferring sessions. I mean, 95% of the work I do throughout the year. Even when I'm bouncing between different studios or different engineers, I work with artists that they have, 3 or 4 engineers that work on their projects, and we share sessions. Like we don't export files, we don't bounce this down or do none of that. Like we literally just send the sessions. And it's so easy, man. You just, here's a session, they pull it up, everything opens up, boom, they're ready to rock. Same thing, send it back, open it up. Everything is there. So
I mean, that's definitely a dope sale. That's definitely a dope sale for Pro Tools. I still, of course, it's still moving the needle for me for the M-Box.
But the interface, like it comes with Pro Tools. You need the IO anyways, because what else you gonna buy? I mean, that gives you all of this stuff. That's what it looks like for me. Because if I'm a drummer, or if I want to track bands, even as a keyboard player, I mean, if you got an organ, you got 3 or 4 different keyboards, like you want to run a auxiliary mixer into 2 inputs on a little interface, or you want an interface that's got enough inputs already built into it.
With ADAT that included.
With ADAT, right. With ADAT included.
If this had 8 physical, line
inputs
on it, I would not. If it more than 4.
Now here's the kick though. So You have the what are these? The FX ends or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Let me see where the back picture at. Those FX return lines ends.
Mm-hmm.
Could those technically be additional line inputs?
Possibly.
Because they're FX returns, so
Yeah.
they got to go back in.
Yeah, those same
matter of fact, it
returns.
says 7 and 8. So you got 1, 2 on the front,
Yeah.
3, 4 on the back,
Yeah.
5, 6 line in,
Yeah.
and then 7, 8.
Yeah.
So you actually do have 8 quarter-inch inputs right there.
Quarter-inch stuff. I guess, man.
I mean, keyboards and TRS.
I mean, we can make it work, I guess. I don't know, man. It's still just a little weird to me. The whole setup it's cool. I just think it lives in a weird space in terms of it remains to be seen. Like this thing, the reviews are still coming in. Like it's still on pre-order.
It's pre-order, yeah,
People
exactly.
still
I'm looking
got
at
it in their
pre-order right
hands
here.
yet. I might get one in my hands just to review on my main channel, just to check it out, and see what it's really talking about hands-on. Maybe if I put my hands on it, I'll feel a little different about it. But just looking at it on the surface, it didn't really move the needle. It didn't move the needle for me. But now if you're watching and you're listening in the comments and all of that, and this moved the needle for you, let us know if this is something that when you saw it, you was like, oh my God, this is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We forgot the MIDI. It has MIDI I/O, like actual MIDI ports on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
That been going away on interfaces. It's hard to find an interface with a MIDI input.
Yeah, that is true because most of them have been pushing towards the USB MIDI, versus the traditional hardware
USB.
MIDI.
We already losing ports on computers. I mean, I'm looking at a MacBook Pro right now that only has 3 Thunderbolt inputs on it. So it's like the only way I can expand that is with dongles and different interfaces that have extra outs. Which this one, this is a USB-C connection.
True.
So that's one USB-C going into your computer. There's no daisy chaining of this particular device, and if I know any better, they probably want you to connect this to the computer directly. Don't connect this through a dongle. Don't connect this through a hard drive or anything like that. Like connect this straight to the computer for the best connection.
That's something I can give them that. It's still, I don't know. I wish it was in a perfect world. If I would, and I'm not the designer of it at all, because like you said, there's probably so many design elements that goes into it because you got to think about heat distribution and all of those different things like that made it. It's just, in my perfect world, some kind of way in my perfect world, it would have 8 physical TRS combo jacks along with, the MIDI in and all of that stuff like that. And it would be
on
smaller.
top of that.
It would be a little bit more compact. Because that thing look like it's about the size of my MacBook. I'm just going to keep it a buck. And I got the 13-inch, and it looks like it's about the size of my MacBook sitting on my desk. So I don't know. But, again, get it in, see what it's looking like. People put hands on it. This might be the game changer, setup interface that gets like mass adoption of Pro Tools and gets guys jumping over the fence to come over and check it out. I don't know. We'll have to
see.
We'll have to see what happens, man. But that's my thoughts on it. I don't know if anything else you kind of got to add to that.
No, man. I think we hit all the points, man, and the different opinions on it. It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen. So if you guys are interested in this, we'd love to know you guys' thoughts down in the comments about what you guys think about it and what value you think it offers. If it's something you're personally considering getting, or if it's something that that you're just going to kind of wait and see kind of approach. I'm in the wait and see category. I'm not selling my monitor controller or anything right now, or my interface to jump on this thing. But we'll see what happens once it gets out in the wild and people start actually using it, and bug fixes and all of that stuff like that comes along with the territory when you're doing this sort of stuff. But that's all we got for today. We just wanted to hop in, have a really quick conversation about that. I thought that was an interesting piece of my week last week when I saw that drop, and I thought it was cool and worth having a conversation about to what we're doing. You guys feel free to check out all of the other episodes we got here on the channel and on podcast and audio and all of that stuff. stuff like that. And we hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us today. Make sure that you come hang out with us again next week, where we'll have another set of topics, another set of things that we're going to be talking about that might interest you as an audio professional. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Y'all feel free to hit the subscribe and do all those things that you do. We'll holla. Peace. All right, made it through. Let me see.
I was noticing stuff I didn't even realize about the joint. Like I didn't see the MIDI the first time.
I didn't either.